we cannot forget what the Wolves did in the first 2 games on the road against Denver. We can't forget that.
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
I'd like to sit here and tell you that I am absolutely going to fire on the Timberwolves, but I like what Matt Human said about 35 minutes ago. There's nothing wrong with this, by the way. If you don't attack the game before it tips off, you can always go into a game hoping to get a better number with an in-play.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I asked Doug Kazarian, and I'll give you the early tease here. But I said, Doug, how many times do you think all your years doing this you can get a better number in play NBA? He said 90%.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So you're right. I mean, is it really going to be? Is Denver going to come out and just blast them?
Well, again,
is Minnesota going to come out and blast them again? And if you want to take the dog and you're not going to get a better number.
18-4 out of the gates at home.
I can't envision that scenario.
But we can't. This was only a week ago now. We cannot forget what the Wolves did in the first 2 games on the road against Denver. We can't forget that. Now, the Nuggets had plenty of time to figure it out, and they have, and Murray's playing better now than he was in the first 2 games. But I will remind you again, specifically in Game 4, that was Anthony Edwards with an A-plus game that they wasted, and really nobody else played that well. Cat was a total minus. The others who have been so big the entire year for the Wolves never played well. You said this earlier. You don't think you can play Kyle Anderson at this point.
No.
But there's still at least 7 guys strong, and I expect things out of Alexander Walker and McDaniels, and they just haven't been there the last couple of games at home. I would not be surprised if players like that play much better in this game tonight. And I think we're going to get a war here in this game.
Yeah, but this is where you see where big game experience and being champions that matters. And that's I think that showed the last 2 games with Minnesota. How do you come out like that in Game 3? I mean, Paul Charchian was right. It was the biggest game in at least for a Minnesota sports team since 2018.
I know how it happened.
But
that was an absolute all-time A-plus game in Game 2. Had 4 days to get ready for it, and you had Gobert back.
Yeah.
It was a terrible combination.
Can't be fat and lazy.